Welcome to Ready Set RC, and today we have the Yikong YK-4107 on the channel, guys. And this is a four-wheel drive, ready to run 1/10 scale trail truck. You guys can see from the markings on the box, looks like it has a cutting brake. Guys, they're calling it a tank turn, but that looks like a cutting brake. I've seen quite a few videos on this, and I gotta say, it's very interesting how they do cutting brake on this. I don't think I've ever seen any RC this way. Comes in three different colors. There's like a midnight blue, a gray, and then like this color of a sky blue / green color that's going on. I ordered this from AliExpress probably early December, and the timing of this video, the filming of this video, it is the 17th of January, so a little over a month it took for this to get to me. Now, I've had other Yikongs on the channel before, most notably the TB7, and that is a IFS truck, 1/7 scale, great RC, guys. They're more of a basher. This is more on the crawler side. And those of you that are not familiar with Yikong, they're primarily based overseas, but they have been in the game for quite some time. So part support on this, you probably will have to wait on parts coming from overseas, but I feel that they're going to be readily available. A lot of the functionalities on this truck you probably have seen before, like a hydraulic servo for the steering, portal axles, locking and unlocking diffs, middle body shocks. So we have a 60 amp ESC with a 550 can motor. I believe it's a 32 turn motor, but it has ball bearings throughout, metal gears throughout, and a lighting kit that looks like to die for on it. For the body, for the most part, over here in the US, we're probably not familiar with this body, but it's the Nissan Patrol is what the body is based on. It is not a Cherokee. For those of you that think it's a Jeep XJ, it's not. It's a Nissan Patrol. Nissan Patrols have been out and around since probably back in the 80s. I don't know if they date further back than that, but my knowledge of them goes back to like the 80s of it. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box. Ooh, that just fell right out. So we have a hex wrench, looks like some plastic bit. I don't know what that is. It looks like a jumper plug. It looks like we got the truck upside down. Let's see if we can turn that around so that it's not scraping on the top. Whoa, we got a lot of foam in here. It looks like Customs had their way with this truck. So it looks like most of the decals was put on here, except for the ones that say Nissan. So that tells me that this is probably not a licensed truck, but at least they gave you the decals to make it a licensed truck. A lot of styrofoam everywhere, guys. It really got into a mess from the shipping, but surprisingly enough, the body held up pretty well. We'll take a good look at it as we go through, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to clean off most of the styrofoam off of the truck and the controller, and then bring you guys back in.
2,000 years later.
Now, in regards to tools, accessories, manual, none of that comes in this. This is bare bones as you're gonna get, guys. So you just get the RC, the transmitter, and the little bit of whatever this is that I showed you earlier. That's it. You don't get anything else on this truck. If you're gonna try to figure this truck out, YouTube and Google is going to be your friend. A lot of the RCs that I've seen from overseas, a lot of them, it's gonna be the case. They want you to go to their online location to kind of download whatever that is. I know Yikong's online presence, meaning their website, is not the greatest. So you're subject to either Google or YouTube for your information. But for the transmitter, we're looking at a Dumbo RC, rebranded Dumbo RC controller. This is a 10-channel controller. I don't think I've had a 10-channel controller from Dumbo RC before. Has a carbon fiber type appearance on it. Composite wheel, but has a disc brake going on. You flip up, you have your steering trims, your steering dual rates, your throttle trims, your throttle dual rates, your dip switches, your power switch, 4 AA's down below. Yeah, there's a lot of channels here, guys. Let's see if we can go through this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and channel 10. As I said, I don't think I've owned a Dumbo RC. transmitter that had that many. That's a lot. We'll have to see what's really used versus what's not used, but that's quite a bit on one controller. Yeah, so just looking at the wheels and tires, they're 2.2 in size, and these are definitely inspired by Proline Hyraxes. They feel really good, has a nice firm foam in them, and the tires themselves feel tacky. The tires have a good grip to them. As for the body, super scaled, guys. I think they got this, I think they knocked it out of the park. It looks very close to what I would have seen from a Nissan Patrol. All of the plastic bits on here, they're just done well, really well. The finish on them is really good. The side mirrors on here, they fold in. You have door handles, composite door handles on here, side rails. Those are also composite. A composite luggage tray up at the top. Nice little light bar sitting off up there. A nice composite storage container in the rear, and this can actually open. Composite bumpers, front, rear. Looks like a half interior that's in here. It goes in the entire cabin of the truck, but it's not full depth on it. You also have some wipers in the front that are also composite. Nice crash bumper with a fair lead, and this is also composite, but feels really good. Light buckets in the front and in the rear. Pretty sure it's gonna have turn signals. No fog lamps down below, just decals sitting there. Yeah, guys, this looks really good. Let's go ahead and get the body off and show you how that's done. So there's a knob here. You're just gonna twist this off, and then the body is going to hinge back and up. And you have everything exposed to you. Now, what I'm seeing is, more styrofoam. It's like styrofoam cannot go away. Inner fenders, front and rear. This is going to be your servos for your locking and your locking of your diffs, your 2-speed servo, battery tray, Velcro straps. You have an XT60 connector coming off the ESC. And as I mentioned before, it's a 60 amp ESC attached to a 32 turn brush motor. And that should be more than enough. 25 kilogram servo in the rear. What that's going to control is that tank function that they're calling it. What makes this unusual than all the other trucks you're gonna find out there is actually controlled by brakes in the rear that lock. I'm seeing multiple adjustments for your shocks, front and rear. Looks like you have aluminum body, coil over, oil-filled shocks. And from what I'm seeing, there's a collar on there to adjust your tension of your spring. So many wires throughout this truck when it comes down to the lighting system, and it's all neat and bundled up from what I can see. But there is a controller also for the lighting system right next to your ESC. I will say the servos in here are nice. They're all digital servos, which probably means that they're all Metal Gear servos as well. Metal servo horn on the truck. Looks like your chassis rails on this, they are composite. For your suspension, you're looking at a 4-link suspension in the rear, all metal links, with a 3-link suspension in the front with a panhard bar. Drive shafts in the front and the rear are composite. Axles in the front and rear are composite, but the gears and the drive shafts are actually, and those axles are actually metal. Steering links are all metal, and remember what I had stated before, you have a hydraulics. Power switch is in an unusual place. It's actually underneath the truck. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that. I wonder if that's gonna be an issue when it comes down to sliding up under things and possibly hitting that switch. And I'm really impressed that there are no body pins on here. Even though that's a twist knob locker and it hinges up, I still like it better than seeing the body pins popping out of the top of these trucks. This color, this blue looks amazing. It just pops, guys. I'm gonna go ahead, charge up a battery pack, get some batteries for the transmitter, and then let's see some of the functionalities of this truck. Ooh, look at that suspension. Wow. Feels a little stiff, but man, that's freaking impressive. Nice truck. Now I jumped straight into it, guys. I've got a 3S pack in there, actually from my Relarlo, and threw it into this truck. I will stress again, the styrofoam is a pain in the butt to get off of this truck. It is annoying. I took a microfiber cloth to everything, and I still can't get rid of the styrofoam. This is going to be the knob that is screwed down in the front to hinge the body up. And gotta say, I like that. The only thing I gotta say, guys, is do not lose this when you're on the trail, because you will be stuck. It's just this that's holding the entire body up. Now, we got the 3S pack in there. Got batteries up in the controller. Let's see what this car is capable of doing. I kind of went through the controls because I didn't want to fumble on camera with you guys, but I went through all of the channels to see what it does, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what each feature does on the controller. I'm going to go ahead and power the truck up. Controller on first, truck on, turn that off for now. So first off, there is a QR code. As I mentioned before, they want you to go straight to their site to get the instructions on this. There is no instructions for this truck in the box. I did not do that because I'm one of those guys, I like to figure it out on my own. So let me show you guys what some of the functionalities are. Of course, we know channel 1 and channel 2, steering, which is extremely quick. And throttle, I'll pick the truck up, but I want to see something with the tires with some load down. Yeah, that servo is pretty strong, guys. So for each one now, I'm going to need the truck to be up on the stand. As you guys know, throttle. So right now you guys are seeing the diffs are unlocked front and rear. I'm going to go ahead and hit channel number 3. That locks up the front. Rear is still open. I'm going to turn off channel number 3. Hit channel number 4. Rear is now locked. Front is wide open. I'm going to hit them both. Front and rear are locked. So that's what channels 3 and 4 do. They lock the front and the rear differentials. I'm going to go ahead, open those back up. I found out that channels 5 and 6 do absolutely nothing. You can turn these knobs until the cows come home and they won't do anything for you. There's nothing's going to change. Apologize in advance, guys. So, channel number 7 is strictly for the lights. One, in regards to the turn signals, you'll have to go in there and disable the turn signals from the light controller, but we got turn signals left and right. I won't go into that. Going into the lighting system right now, on position number 1, channel number 7, lights are all off. Let's spin this around. I'm not sure what the rear is doing. So you do get reverse lights and brake lights. Quick hit on the brake lights, it's automatically, you go from forward to reverse. There's no forward brake reverse like you would have in a basher. So it's set up just right for a crawler. It's forward, reverse. But yet, if you tap it just right, the brake lights come on. Thought that was a little slick. Of course, the reverse lights come on, of course, reverse. And then you get your turn signals, spin that back around. This is where the cool stuff starts. So we're gonna move this to position number 1 on channel number 7. And we get the halos, or angel eyes, depends on which car maker you're talking about. That's kind of hot, I like that. I really do, I really like the that little effect right there. And then we're gonna move this, and just wanna show you in the rear, nothing's changed. So they're like daytime running lights. Nothing's changed right there. And then we're going to hit channel number 3. And channel number 3, you get the gusto. You get the headlights on. You get the roof light on. I don't think I saw those on before. Yep. Yeah, so there's park lights on in the front. And you get your tail lights on too. All that comes on when you put on number 3. Everything comes on with the full gusto. All right. We're going to turn that back off. Not going to try to blind you guys. So now let's get into the really good stuff. I'm hitting channel number 8. This is regards to your 2-speed. Channel number 8 on. Lights green. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's low. I thought it was pretty quick until I hit it off. And the thing is, right now, it is in high. So when you turn the truck on, it's automatically in high. you have to hit channel number 8 to go into low speed. I'll show you high speed. I'm gonna probably put my hand on the truck because it's pretty quick. That is really quick for high speed. 3S. This thing's got some juice, guys. Channel number 9 and 10. And this is the one that took me a while to figure out. But what channel number 9 and 10 do, how am I gonna have to show you guys this? This is where you get the cut brake, or they call it the tank feature. You're gonna have to hit channel number 9 and channel number 10. I like doing it with the truck in low. Now, I'm gonna try to show this to you guys as best as possible. Cut brake is turned to the right, which means that this wheel will lock. You guys are seeing it, it's locked. A lot more free spinning on this side. So I'm turning to the right. Channels number 9 and 10 are on. I'm only putting 8 on because I like to do this in a low gear, but you can also do this in high gear. And look at that. So 3 wheels are spinning. Since I'm turning right, the bright is locked up. Now we're gonna do it to the left. 3 wheels are spinning. This wheel's locked up. I'm gonna try to do it one hand so you guys can see it. This wheel's locked up. We're gonna go back the other way, same deal. Locked up. So that's what the cut brake is doing, guys. It's whatever way you're turning the wheel, and if channels number 9 and 10 are on, it's gonna lock that wheel up, even when the diffs are wide open. So right now the diffs are wide open, but that cut brake still goes on. Now I'm gonna show you something a little bit slick. We're gonna turn this back into high mode and show you that it still does the same deal. I'm turning to the left, locked again. See? So you can do some really cool tricks with it in high mode and locking the brake. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get that back to brake around, kind of like how I like to do rally, which makes me think, I wonder if they could do this in a rally car. But I digress. Very cool, guys. I like what Yikong has done with this truck. This truck reminds me of when I was looking at all those Abisma trucks. And I believe Abisma also, the two of them also use the same manufacturer for their vehicles. I know there's a lot of similarities between the Abismas and the Yikongs. So I wouldn't be surprised. So before we're about to sign off, guys, what are my first initial pros and cons about the truck? Let's touch on the cons. As I mentioned before, these foams in this tire are firm. I don't know how this truck is going to hook up if you're going to take it for some mild rock crawling, but I think these foams are going to be your liability. The tires don't feel bad. Foams themselves, they just don't give. And I wish these were a bead lock, because at least you'd be able to take them off the wheel and then throw in some decent foams in there, but they're not. They're glued on. So you're probably going to have to replace the entire wheel and tire on there and not really see the pluses and minuses from these tires. Another con that I don't like is that I really wish that they had put some form of instruction manual on in this. They gave you nothing. You pretty much have to try to figure this out on your own, and that's what I did. I just sat back and started hammering away at the buttons on the controller until I figured it out. Con is going to be, for those of you guys who are going to want to hop your trucks up to the 9, meaning putting brass everywhere, trying to get a more capable trail truck / crawler out of it. I don't know how easy it is to get those kind of parts for it. You know, how to get brass for this truck, how to get certain other items, like say if you want to interchange, put a different body on instead of this body because there's no body post, what you're going to need to do with all of that. Does the current system work with every body out there? I'm not sure about that. And those are going to be the limitations on this if you're trying to do any modifications outside of its current world. I think for part support, You're not going to hurt so much for this because it's a platform that's been out for a while. But I think what you're going to hurt is the lead times in trying to get it. It took me over a month and a half just to get the truck. So it's going to take some time if you do run into a situation where you're trying to do hop-ups. This is a crawler, so for the most part, breaking parts is not something that you're going to run into unless you're extremely abusive to your trucks. But when it comes to wanting to really hop it up and put those hop-up parts, I don't know of too many people that are making third-party parts for Yikong. That's in the U.S. Outside of the U.S., there probably are some distributors out there that are making third-party parts for it, but for the most part, in the U.S., I don't see anything. So that's going to be a big challenge for you. And then I'd say the last thing that I would say is I hate that they use styrofoam. The styrofoam is a pain in the butt. Now, that's probably just a me thing because maybe I'm the one who's pissed off that they use styrofoam and I can't get this off the truck and it's annoying. It just, every time you wipe, it flies back. So it's like there's a static attraction to the truck, but it's annoying with the styrofoam. Some of the pluses, I do enjoy that someone has stepped out of the box and decided to give us a Nissan. Nissan's one of the companies that I truly do like. It's one of my favorite import companies, and I'm glad to see that someone's stepping out of their comfort zone to at least give us a Nissan when it comes to crawlers and these kind of trucks. I like the ingenuity. I like that they're putting a cut brake in there. They're thinking of something completely different. And I wouldn't mind seeing that technology in other vehicles. Let's see where that goes because that's a pretty slick thing other than, you know, someone throwing in a dig and every company is doing digs. I do appreciate it that they gave us a Dumbo RC, actually a 10-channel Dumbo RC, which I am not familiar with. Normally I've seen up to like 6 channels on a Dumbo RC, but 10 is insane. That's a lot of channels. And I appreciate that they're actually putting this into the package for it. And then lastly, I do like the electronics in here. I like the servos. The servos are extremely powerful. They look like they're going to be pretty dependable. For a brush system, they gave us a 550 can motor. The last time I saw this size motor, I have an 8-scale crawler that has that kind of motor in it. So that's insane. I do wish, though, that they threw in the 1080 if they're going to give us a 550. So if they were to give us the 1080 ESC versus the 1060, yes, the 1060 is 2S and 3S rated, and that's why I'm able to throw a 3S pack in here, but I do wish that they gave us a 1080 with that size motor. That would be ballistic. I will say, guys, in regards to the low control, this is decent for a trail truck. I think if you're really looking for low-end modulation, you're going to want to go to something brushless at that point. And then when you're going there, you actually should be starting to look at a different truck because you're starting to now push the limitations of what this truck actually was intended to be. I think at the most, what we should be doing with this truck is possibly gearing it up, gearing it down, maybe throwing a 1080 ESC in there. But that's as far as I would go with it. If I'm going to start to do all of that kind of work to a truck and swapping out the electronics to the point of swapping out servos, ESCs, motors, then I'm most likely going to go with a different RC. I saw this and I was impressed, and now that it's in my hand, I'm even more impressed with this. I'm going to start hitting the trails with this truck. That's what I like to do, especially in these winter months. Not too many people are out, and I get to really get some very cool footage. You guys don't watch those videos, but I like making them. So that's what's up for next for this truck, getting this truck on the trails and really driving it through and putting it through its paces. And then we could see possibly tuning this. And what I mean by tuning it, I mean in regards to the suspension and the shocks part of the truck. But we're gonna leave it here. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram for our latest updates to the channel. This is Ready Set RC, signing out. Thanks again, guys.